The moment my daughter stopped calling me dad, I realized my life was already over. Not because she hated me. Not because she was angry. Because she didn't feel anything at all. My name is Richard. I'm 52 years old. From the outside, my life looks respectable. A solid career, a quiet house, a reputation built on responsibility and logic. People say I'm disciplined, reliable, rational. They don't know what those words cost me. Years ago, I was married to a woman named Emily. We weren't perfect, but we were honest. We laughed loudly, argued passionately, and felt deeply. Our daughter, Lily, was the center of our world. Then life gave me a choice. Not a dramatic one. Not a heroic one. A practical one. A promotion. More money. More status. More responsibility. The only condition was relocation. Another city. Another lifestyle. Another version of me. Emily didn't want to move. Her family was here. Her career was here. Her life was here. I don't want to raise our daughter in a place where you're never home, she said. I told her she was being emotional. I told her stability mattered. I told her I was doing this for us. The truth was simpler. I was doing it for myself. We tried to make it work. Long distance. Video calls. Visits. But distance doesn't strengthen relationships. It exposes their weakest parts. Our conversations became shorter. Our patience thinner. Our love quieter. One evening, Lily was on the phone with me. "Are you coming home soon?" she asked. "Not yet," I said. "Daddy is working." She didn't argue. She just sighed. That sigh still follows me. Emily eventually stopped trying. Not because she didn't love me. Because love alone doesn't survive absence. We divorced quietly. No shouting. No betrayal. Just emotional exhaustion. Lily stayed with her mother. I stayed with my career. Everyone said I made the responsible choice. Responsibility doesn't feel responsible when you realize what it destroys. Years passed. My job grew. My income increased. My house became larger. My family disappeared. Emily moved on. Lily grew up. I became a voice on the phone. At first, Lily still tried. She told me about school, friends, her fears. I answered with advice. Not presence. Advice doesn't replace connection. Eventually, her calls became rare. Then formal. Then non-existent. The day she stopped calling me Dad and started calling me Richard, I felt something collapse inside my chest. Not dramatically. Quietly. Because quiet pain lasts longer. I told myself she would understand one day. Children don't understand absence. They feel it. And feelings shape memory. I had become a distant figure in her story. A man who chose work over presence. A man who chose logic over love. A man who believed the right choice would save everything. Instead, it erased me. My apartment is quiet now. No laughter. No photos on the walls. Just reminders of what I built and what I lost. Sometimes I sit in the dark, holding my phone, staring at her contact name, Lily. I never call. Because I don't know what to say. What do you tell someone whose childhood you missed? What do you tell someone whose life you chose not to witness? I was busy is not a reason. It's an excuse. One night, I found an old recording on my phone. Lily's voice, years ago. "Good night, Daddy." I replayed it until the battery died. Because memories are the only place where time stops. I didn't become a bad man. I became an absent one. And absence is the most permanent mistake you can make. People think the worst choices are the loud ones. The dramatic ones. The obvious ones. They're wrong. The worst choices are quiet. They look responsible. They sound logical. They feel justified. And they destroy you slowly. I didn't ruin my life by failing. I ruined it by succeeding at the wrong thing. The silence between me and my daughter didn't happen overnight. It grew. Like a crack in glass that slowly spreads until the whole surface becomes fragile. At first, Lily still tried to include me in her life. She sent photos from school. Short messages about her friends. Questions about things I barely understood anymore. I answered politely. Briefly. Like a man replying to emails. Not like a father listening to his child. Work always came first. Meetings. Deadlines. Responsibilities. The life I chose demanded my full attention. And it took everything else in return. Emily stopped calling me completely. I didn't blame her. Our marriage had already died quietly, without drama. Two adults choosing different priorities. But Lily was different. Children don't choose distance. They inherit it. One day, I visited them after months of absence. Lily was taller. Her voice deeper. Her eyes more cautious. She hugged me politely. Not tightly. We went for ice cream. Sat in awkward silence. I tried to ask about school. She answered with short words. How's everything, I asked. Fine. Fine means nothing. It means safe. It means distant. At one point, I tried to joke like I used to. She didn't laugh. Not because the joke was bad. Because the moment had passed. I realized something painful. I had become a guest in my own daughter's life. A visitor. Not a presence. When I returned to my city, I convinced myself that time would fix it. Time doesn't fix absence. It confirms it. Years passed. I climbed higher in my career. Bigger office. Bigger paycheck. Bigger sense of responsibility. Smaller family. Sometimes colleagues talked about their children. School events. Birthdays. First achievements. I nodded politely. Inside, I felt like an outsider to a world I had chosen not to live in. One evening, after a long day, I opened an old box I had kept in storage. Inside were drawings Lily made when she was little. Stick figures. Smiling suns. Me holding her hand. She had drawn me bigger than everyone else. I sat on the floor holding that paper like it was fragile. Not because it was old. Because it represented a version of me that no longer existed, a father who was present. A man who mattered. I hadn't lost my daughter in an argument. I lost her in silence. In postponed visits. In missed birthdays. In unanswered calls. Every small absence built a bigger distance. One day, I decided to call her. My heart was racing like I was about to confess something dangerous. She answered. Hello. It's me, I said. Hi, Richard. Not Dad. Not Daddy. Just my name. We talked for a few minutes. About weather. About work. About nothing important. I tried to ask about her life. She gave polite answers. She sounded like someone talking to an old colleague. Not a parent. When the call ended, I stared at the phone for a long time. I hadn't lost my family in a dramatic way. I had slowly erased myself from it. I tried to fix things with gifts. Money. Support. But presence can't be replaced. No amount of compensation fills emotional absence. One night, I had a dream. Lily was standing at a train station, holding a suitcase. Where are you going? I asked. Home, she replied. But you're already home. She shook her head. No, I just stopped waiting. I woke up with a tight chest and a dry mouth. Some dreams don't come from imagination. They come from truth. I started questioning my past choices. Not the promotion. Not the money. The cost. What had I traded for success? A marriage. A childhood. A relationship. My life was comfortable. And empty. I wasn't lonely in the physical sense. I was lonely in the emotional one. No one needed me. No one waited for me. No one expected me. The apartment that once felt impressive now felt hollow. Big spaces amplify silence. One evening, I received a message from Emily. Lily was getting married. There was no invitation. Just information. That was the moment something inside me broke. Not loudly. Quietly. I realized I wasn't part of her future. I was part of her past. A past she had learned to live without. I had built a successful life. But I had failed at the one role that mattered most. Being there. People often ask, was it worth it? Money, status, control, none of them sit next to you at night. None of them call you when they're scared. None of them remember you with warmth. I had chosen the right path. And I had lost everything that made it meaningful. The worst part wasn't regret. It was acceptance. The understanding that some absences can't be repaired. They can only be remembered. And memory is a painful place to live. I didn't attend my daughter's wedding. Not because I wasn't invited. Not because I was busy. Because I didn't know where I belonged anymore. Emily sent me one final message, Lily is happy. That's what matters. She was right. My presence was no longer necessary for her happiness. And that realization hurt more than any argument we ever had. On the day of the wedding, I sat alone in my apartment. The same apartment that once felt like proof of success. The same walls, the same silence, the same furniture that had never heard laughter. I imagined Lily in a white dress. Smiling. Surrounded by people who had been there for her when I wasn't. I wasn't angry. I was invisible. And invisibility is the true cost of absence. I opened my phone and listened to that old recording again. Good night, Daddy. Her voice was younger. Softer. Full of trust. I whispered back to the empty room, good night. But no one heard me. Time doesn't punish you for your choices. It simply reveals them. All the years I had invested in my career now felt like a long delay of something more important. I had built stability, but stability doesn't love you back. I had built control, but control doesn't need you. I had built success, but success doesn't remember your name. People remember presence. I walked through the city that night. Couples passed me. Families laughed. Children ran ahead of their parents. I wasn't jealous. I was aware. Aware of everything I had missed. Not because I wasn't capable. Because I wasn't there. I used to believe that sacrifice meant working harder, earning more, providing better. Now I understood that sacrifice sometimes means being present when it's inconvenient. And I had sacrificed presence for comfort. When you miss someone's life long enough, they stop missing you in return. That's not cruelty. That's adaptation. I didn't lose my daughter in one moment. I lost her in 1,000 small absences. Missed birthdays. Delayed calls. Postponed visits. Short conversations. Each one seemed harmless. Together, they built distance. That distance became permanent. Some people think regret is loud. It isn't. Regret is quiet. It sits with you at night. It speaks when no one else does. And it asks one simple question, was it worth it? My answer has never changed. No. Not because my career failed. But because my presence did. I didn't become a bad man. I became an unavailable one. And availability is what makes love possible. Now, my life is simple. No family dinners. No phone calls. No expectations. Just quiet evenings and honest thoughts. I don't blame Emily. I don't blame Lily. I blame my fear. Fear of slowing down. Fear of choosing people over progress. Fear of a life that couldn't be measured in promotions. I had confused success with meaning. They are not the same. Meaning requires presence. Success only requires performance. If you're listening to this and still have people who wait for you, don't let them wait forever. Absence doesn't feel like loss at first. It feels like later. But later becomes never. And never becomes permanent. I didn't ruin my life with one mistake. I ruined it with a pattern. A pattern of choosing what looked right over what felt right. My story isn't a tragedy. It's a warning. Because some choices don't destroy your life immediately. They just remove you from the lives that matter. Quietly. Permanently.